welcome to the Mind Vortex podcast studios. Today we're going to be talking about what I've coined as, I'm the originator of this term, the CyberBrick program that Google's running on truth speakers on their platforms, people speaking about conspiracy theories, people that are hitting the head. Okay, so let's go over like conspiracy theories here. So I'm going to give you my opinion on it, right? And I kind of have to do this as a disclaimer, as like kind of a legal disclaimer. So I'm not claiming that I know the truth. I'm not claiming that I'm some type of hidden mind master that can see through all the government deceptions and conspiracies. I'm someone that came onto the internet, learned about conspiracies, that went down several rabbit holes, that learned the origins of these conspiracies. I've lived through persecution from what I will claim is the shadow government, the government. People may call it the gang stalking program, which, yes, can be confused with people with mental illnesses, people that are drug addicts are making outlandish claims. No, I've been through the persecution physically of speaking the truth, okay? I've been on this kind of kick since 2016, 17. I got awakened to the Alex Jones, Bill Hicks, psyop, Alex Jones being controlled opposition. I speak adamantly against Trump. Okay, that's not to say that I'm a Joe Biden supporter or a Democrat supporter. I believe in the Hegelian dialectic, uniparty system of the controllers, the elites give you two false choices and they have an outcome for each choice. So I don't participate in any elections. You know, I'm an outspoken individual. And I'm not a protester. I'm not someone that's against the government. I'm not against the elite. But there's something about freedom of speech, about speaking on these topics. Okay. I can't forget what I saw, a bit type of deal here, man. So there's certain things that I obviously am, in my opinion, right about, that the government or the shadow government or whatever you want to call it don't like. Okay. So this CyberBrick program, okay, again, I coined the term, but this is an actual phenomenon happening. Google is persecuting people. Okay. I have another YouTube channel. I'm not going to name it right now. That I speak on similar topics, right? I show my targeting. Okay. So like, let's go over my targeting real quick. Basically, I can't post on that channel. This is a new form of censorship because of the election. They have literally bricked me out of my channel. Like I'm not someone that's on strike, and then when I get off the strike, I'm allowed to post. Like I have a certain set of rules that are set apart specifically for me. This has been going on my whole life. Like I'm not trying to sound paranoid, delusional, sound like I have persecutory delusion, but there's just so much evidence that I have. Okay. So this other YouTube channel, popular channel, for what I'm talking about, right? It gets a lot of views, even though I'm shadow banned, basically. My videos aren't recommended, things like that. It gets a lot of views. It's a pretty popular channel. Okay, like not compared to other big YouTubers, but when you really look at the conspiracy niche, there's not a lot of people talking about it. So the numbers are decent for what I'm doing. The word is getting spread out. Okay, people are interested in it. I have a small little fan base, is what you could say, right? So, people's channels get nuked, they get striked. I have a couple enemies of that channel. That's why I'm remaining anonymous. I'm not naming the channel. I can show you the evidence. But this also happened last year. So what will happen is I'll get strikes, right? And YouTube has a strike system. First strike, you get maybe a warning. Your first official strike, you have 7 days where you can't post, 1 week, right? And it's an automated system, I should say, where once that week expires, you're allowed to post. It's basically ran off computer codes. And what they're doing with me is I have 2 strikes, which they were pretty much bullshit strikes, okay? But it's not my platform. I'm grateful to have a platform to speak on. It's not my business. Like YouTube, Google, they can run their business however they want. I respect that, right? So I get 2 strikes. So when you get your second strike on YouTube, you get a 2-week suspension, right? You can't post, you can't do anything for 2 weeks, and then automatically. And I've received many strikes in the past, so I've never even experienced or seen. I mean, I've never seen anyone experience what I'm about to tell you here. So I got my strike on June 15th, and again, this is a long list of stuff that's coincidentally designed to shut me down, offline and online. We're gonna go over that. I got my second strike June 15th. So it should have expired on July 30th. It's now July 8th. And it's saying I cannot post. Okay. Now you're saying, oh, that's some type of technical error. You're being paranoid. No, this happened last year. And I'm going to tell you specifically what videos are getting me these lengthy censorship like suspensions. Like right now, I'm indefinitely suspended. Like I'm basically, we're in the 3 weeks on a 2-week suspension. I still can't post. And it's not like, oh, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and I can post. It's an indefinite suspension. They're literally going out their way to make sure I cannot speak on that channel. Okay. In a bully type of way. Like let's say Google or YouTube just deletes the channel. I'll start a new channel. You know, like it's their rules. Maybe I violate the rules. Like there's nothing I can really do. Since I'm not violating rules, I'm walking on eggshells. What they're doing is they're just silencing me because the election's coming up. And I'll be honest with you, it's because I'm calling out the Trump psyop. But there's another reason, underlying reason though. So with the whole targeting of gang stalking, it could be happening. It's whatever you believe, right? In my instance, people were breaking into my house. People were intimidating me. People were vandalizing and destroying every car I owned. Like I went through several cars being keyed, destroyed in a systematic way to financially bankrupt me. So basically, if you keep buying phones and cars, like you're going to eventually run out of money. So I have all the evidence of it. I have a hard drive full of evidence. Okay. It's not as prolific as it used to be, but there was a period where some type of military group, paramilitary government, shadow group, Marines, National Guard. I'm not going to specifically say who was doing it, but people that had access to military grade technology and the funds, just basically unlimited funds for surveillance. I proved that I'm being surveilled by a drone. Like I can prove it. It sounds crazy. There's a lot of people on YouTube talking about this, and you get censored. So basically, there's people other than myself saying I have drones outside of my house every night. Like I look at them with binoculars, like they have red and blue lights behind them. I'm being surveilled by drones. And then trolls will go into those people's comments and be like, oh, you're crazy. That's Jupiter. That's this, that. So basically, the video that has gotten me this indefinite strike is a video of a drone, okay, surveilling me. So I'm behind a Walmart. I'm walking left and right behind a Walmart on my way back from work. And a drone, and I prove it, the drone is moving left and right. And it's supposed to look like a fake star. It's really bright. It's low. It moves. It follows you. It's a fucking drone, okay? It's a military grade drone. So I uploaded that video, and I'm sorry to be kind of confusing here. So on my channel that has the indefinite strikes that's being bricked by Google, I uploaded that video. I got crazy strikes, and now I can't post on that channel. And that's happened 2 years ago when I originally posted the video on a completely different channel. See, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I have to hop from channel to channel, change names, used code names, all of that. Like this is a real program that's going on in America. Not to be confused that I'm in a James Bond movie and, you know, every time I leave my house, there's fucking satellites and drones and secret agents. It's not like that. This is a covert program to take down people speaking the truth that aren't part of the sheep, that aren't voting for Biden, that aren't voting for Trump, that know January 6th was a psyop, that know Trump is probably a pedophile working with Epstein, and that the whole government is pedophiles, and, you know, we're people that have knowledge that are being surveilled and monitored and fucked with, basically. So this whole CyberBrick program. So that's just kind of a little pre-synopsis of what's going on. I'm gonna just tell you about the CyberBrick program. It's a term I coined. So any product that I have to use with Google, it's one thing if YouTube doesn't like what I'm saying and they're just like, hey, dude, we have advertisers. We don't like this conspiracy crap. Like you saw what happened to Alex Jones and Sandy Hook. You're bad for business. We're going to silence you any way we can. We hope that you just stop posting and, we'll leave you alone. That's fine. See, me, I shouldn't accept that as a truther, but it is what it is nowadays, man. Like as a truther, as someone that's been in the truth movement, okay, I'm not a protester. I'm not someone against the government. I'm someone that just researches conspiracies, look for alternate narratives, does my own research. I don't buy the mainstream media garbage. I look out for psyops, The whole point is they want me silenced. They want me done. Okay. So what they're doing, they're going cross-platform. This is where the bricking is coming from. So Google not only is silencing you on YouTube, they're tracking, surveilling, monitoring you. They know who you are. They have a team dedicated to you. They might, and again, this is speculation, I don't know. They might have people hooked up to satellites and drones and surveil them that way through their Google devices, their Android phones, Gmail accounts. So let me tell you what I mean by CyberBrick. So, and again, with the whole targeting, 2 years ago, I experienced hacking. Okay, so this has nothing to do with Google. I'm just telling you what hacking is. I had a Windows computer. I would open it up. I did something obviously to compromise myself, security-wise, but I would open it up. A command prompt, MS-DOS prompt would show up. That's a meaning that someone is using reverse shell. They're using a Windows shell. Shell is like command prompt for like newer Windows, right? So they're using a command. When a hacker has your devices hacked, they'll use command prompt from a remote location utilizing your internet connection and like start installing malware and apps. So I would have Mozilla Firefox. Then I will have Mozilla Firefox 2. Like I will have multiple desktop icons. You just turn on your computer and there's 5 Mozilla Firefoxes. That's a hacker that messed up and was trying to remotely add his own browser so he can keylog you. So that's what's happened before. And then again, you can do things to prevent that. That's just like an amateur hacker, okay? So I want to just clarify. Now, during the targeting, like I do DoorDash, I do gig work. They would like, for a period of time, they would like completely, every time I do a delivery, they'll freeze my phone and I'll have to restart the app. Like I was being surveilled 24 hours a day, like remotely at one point. But that did stop eventually as far as the harassment. So I want to differentiate. So that's hacking, right? That's when someone has you hacked. This is when Google is bricking you. So I'm marked in the Google. And again, this is all speculation. I'm just living through the experience and I'm trying to explain it. I'm not trying to act like I'm an armchair expert here. Okay. We do talk about conspiracy psyops, but there's things that I've gone through in my life. And I'll talk about that in other podcasts where it's like, it's definitely government and military grade. And I won't say it's them, but it's military and government grade surveillance, harassment, organized stalking. Okay, there's a little bit of the Truman Show type of stuff going on too. Like, I'm not going to talk about that stuff here in this podcast. That's going to be another podcast. And again, that's why I call myself Mind Vortex, because this stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Again, if you don't believe what I'm talking about, look at Epstein Island. Look at this crap that's going on in Hollywood behind the scenes. Like, just because you don't know something doesn't mean it's not happening. Okay. And the stuff that we don't know, it's like a fucking mind vortex. It's like your fucking mind goes into a whole parallel universe, quantum leap ride because of all the psyops and craziness that's going on. Like, that is real. That's what we're focusing on this channel. We're not acting like we know everything here. We're just, but there's things I've been through in my life that's just, folks, you're on YouTube posting, talking about conspiracies. I'm not trying to act like I'm special, man. You get put under surveillance by some pretty bad hombres. We're talking about elites, secret societies, government agencies. Okay. Even if you're not talking about conspiracies, you're probably under their eye. But when these people turn the machine onto you, so we talked about the hacking, right? Uh, Reverse shell, the command prompt, someone doing it from their computer at home using command prompt on their computer, and it shows up on your computer. And through the command prompt, they're adding desktop icons or adding malware. So that's how like kind of hacking works, right? We're going to talk about Google cyberbrick. And so I have a phone, and as far as I'm concerned, it may be hacked, but it's not going through the targeted harassment hacking of the surveillance team, like literally stopping you from everything you're doing, freezing all your apps. Like they have all this time in the world to just like fuck with you. Okay. So that's not bricking. This is bricking. Okay. As far as my phone's concerned, my phone should be good. It operates okay. But everything that has to do with Google doesn't work. So I'm going to give you examples here. And it just started all of a sudden, right? I'll use Google Maps. Google Maps works fine. I get to the destination. When you get there, there's a X button. I click the X button to stop the navigation. Doesn't work. Just freezes. I'm talking about you just click it for your whole life till you do a factory reset. Click it. And you're like, oh, that's just a little bug. I'll do YouTube. You can minimize the YouTube video screen and then do stuff on your phone in the background. That will get bricked up. It will get frozen. We'll have to go into the apps and restart that. Keep in mind that I can't post on my channel 1 week after the strikes have expired. I still can't post. I posted questions, and there's like YouTube community section, and just explain my situation. Now, I was being a little accusatory. I'm like, Google's censoring me and stuff like that. But every time I post it in the community where I can get an answer from like a Google admin or another YouTube user, they delete the question. I'm under an indefinite suspension. So strikes expire in 90 days. So you start off, let's say you get a strike. So 3 months from now, that strike will expire. So if you have 3 strikes, you're gone. If you have 2, after 90 days, you'll have 0, right? After the 3-month period. So it looks like, I'm not trying to make any assumption, it looks like they're going to basically not let me post until those strikes expire 3 months from now. That's my guess. And they're going to make it seem like it's some type of technical error. Like, really think about that. Like, YouTube is a big company. They have all these automated systems, probably the best coding and programmers in the world. I mean, it's very complicated to keep this site and this app running. Like, it's an app, it's a website. It has millions of uploads. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, they can easily take a strike off when the period is done, right? So we got to keep our heads on a swivel as conspiracy theorists, truth speakers. I mean, these people just try to shut you down. And like, again, this sounds like little bugs that are on my phone. Oh, your phone's just buggy. Oh, your phone's just cheap. No, everything works on my phone fine. Google Chrome, same thing. And I'll be using Google. I'm gonna give you an example. Like, I'm trying to order some Buffalo Wild Wings, right? Everything I press on Google for Chrome freezes. Like, you'll press order, it'll freeze, brick. Like, literally, you're like, it's a titrated torture. That's what they're doing. Like, we live in 2024. You're on a Wi-Fi internet. You got a newer phone. Like, clicking a button shouldn't be a problem. Like, I'll click a button on any Google app, and like, it'll brick, it'll freeze, it'll stop working. It's just, it adds up over time. It's torture. So let's say the average wait time in between people pressing buttons is like a nanosecond. It's like half a second, right? Normal person. So in a month, you're probably spending a minute and a half waiting for things on your phone, right? Like, maybe a minute. Like, you're doing thousands of things that take half a second. And at the end of the month, it only takes you 1 or 2 minutes of wait time. For me, it's like 15 or 20 minutes. So you add that over time, over a year, it's a couple hours. over 10 years, it's like a couple days. And they're just like, it's like an AI system stealing time from your life. You go out, you buy a new phone, you're bricked out of Google. Now we use Google for everything. Use Google Maps, Gmail, YouTube. You're bricked. Brick, 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 brick. People's technology is advancing, and you're not. You're not allowed to post. People can post. And I don't like flagging videos. I used to never do it, but there's people on my other channel that are like enemies of the channel that have literally deleted multiple channels, and they're just sitting around for years just waiting for me to post just to delete it and get it reported, right? So I had spoke about the 2020 medical emergency where everyone had to get a certain medical treatment, right? And you were locked in your house. And I spoke in that type of coding. I never used the C word. I never used the P word, right? And my video gets flagged for medical misinformation just for saying 2020 locked in house. I didn't say anything like, oh, it was fake. I didn't say anything. I didn't even say the name of it. So the enemy of my channel, who's bragged about deleting my channel, he literally says it. He says the name of it, says it's fake. Says all types of things, like, right, says it's fake, says the name of it, said all this. So I flag his channel, right? You know, I don't like doing it, but shit, I did it as a test. I'm like, you know, let's see if his video gets flagged, right? Doesn't get flagged, stays up. I do it from another channel. I do the timestamp, everything. Doesn't get flagged, stays up. Like this dude that I'm speaking of, I believe that these people are agents of Google. Like that's something I got in trouble with from the elites is there are agents, there are Freemasons and agents that are just posted on Google, on YouTube to gather intelligence, mess with people and all types of things. And I can point them to you and show you their hand signals, their subliminal messages. I mean, it's not a lot of them. They're not as much as they used to be, right? They're basically crisis actors is what I'm trying to say. Like these are military people doing crisis acting management on YouTube and swaying opinions and doing all types of stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, these people that are attacking me, they're part of that network, right? They're part of this Google and basically part of this Google network. So just to sum it all up, people, like I am being attacked. It's offline, it's online. Anything that has to do with Google is bricked. Like they brick it, they freeze it. It doesn't matter if I have a brand new phone, iPhone, anything. It's just anything with Google is I am marked in their system as an enemy. And if you really pay attention, all of these conspiracies were pushed by Google. Alex Jones, Donald Trump, they have no platform without Google. Google's just as culpable as any conspiracy theorist out there. That's why they want me silenced. But I'm wrapping this up. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Like this is the CyberBrick Google podcast on how their offline surveillance and censorship program works. They are censoring for the election. And it's a major issue. And when it comes to personal security, these people are dangerous criminals. Let's just keep it real. Google is a dangerous criminal cartel organization. And they definitely do evil.